The fact that this is on a light colored fabric, and even though it looks blue, you're asking yourself, is that truly a light colored fabric? It counts as far as transferring the pattern, it counts as a light colored fabric. But because it is not a dark fabric like navy or black or something, it gives us some options about how to transfer this design onto the fabric. And let me explain the way that I got this version onto this one right here. The most frequent way that I use to transfer patterns onto light colored fabric is to use some sort of tracing method. And for this one, I used my lightbox. Now there's a whole separate video on how to transfer a pattern using a lightbox on my YouTube channel. So that one, I'm just gonna like quickly explain it here. I'm not gonna show you exactly, do it for you here. But if you want to go look at that video and see the whole thing with examples and you can see exactly how I do it, I definitely suggest watching that. But let me just quickly show you, just explain here how I did it. So I have my printed pattern. You would have your light box. You take your printed pattern, you tape it down so it doesn't shift. And then you take your stretched fabric and flip it over. Then you put your hoop down on top of that printed design on top of your light box, and then I also tape down this fabric so that it doesn't shift on the fabric as you are tracing. So everything is stable. You don't have to worry about holding it the whole time, and if you shift it, a 1/4 of an inch, the whole thing is messed up. So tape everything down really well. Now, I will also say here that I don't know if you can see it here, but I have a white background. This is my table, my work table. It's white. And I have a white sheet of paper, and I could really, I know it's a little bit hard since I already have it traced on here. Maybe you can sort of see that if I put this down on there, you can see the design through the fabric, even without a light box. And if you have a really simple pattern, honestly, you don't even need the light box. You can just do it like this. This one was a little more complicated, so I did use the light box. And then I used the Frixion gel pen erasable. I always say erasable in quotes because it is, you can use a hairdryer. That's what I use. And the ink does, the lines do go away, again, in quote marks, quotations, because it doesn't actually go away. On a fabric like this, it will leave kind of a yellow line. If I was working on navy again, or a black or a dark fabric, it will leave a really bright line. On white fabric, it leaves kind of a yellow line. So just be aware of that. I love this method, but I'm always careful to trace very precisely and then stitch over my lines, even though I will go back, and if any of them show, I will erase them with the hairdryer. But anyway, that's just a little caveat about the Frixion. Trace it on, and then some people like to stitch with the design in their hoop like this, called stitching in the well. I personally prefer to stitch like this, so I take that fabric out and I re-stretch it in the hoop like this, and here we go. So there it is. If you do not own a light box, and they're not super expensive, but if you don't have one and don't want to purchase one, here is the other way that I very often transfer patterns. So here's a little design, different design, but I print the pattern. Here you go, print the pattern, cut it out in a circle, slip it into the back of the stretched fabric, flip it over, and then I hold it in front of a bright light. You can hold it up in front of a sunny window, but honestly, I just sit at my desk and I use my, let me see if you can see it here. This is my swing arm lamp, and I just turn it up this way, and I hold this in front, and then I trace it on. That's a really super bright light. I push against the back of it, and then I trace it on. Get that out of the way so it does not blind you. So that is a very convenient, I find it quick method. Even for intricate designs, it works really well. Here is a really quick video of me doing that method. And sorry, it's oriented vertically because I shot it for my Instagram reel. I've already posted it on Instagram if you wanted to look at it there, but regardless, I'll just play you a quick little clip of that so you can see what that looks like.